Goth girls are cosplaying as tuberculosis patients. The goth subculture aesthetic didn't come from vampires. It came from a lung infection, specifically Mycobacterium tuberculosis. The goth look, pale skin, skeletal frame, dilated pupils, that isn't fashion. That is a symptom list for the Victorian era's #1 killer. In the 19th century, TB was called consumption, and unlike smallpox, which was gross, consumption was considered chic. It made you thin, it made you pale, and the low-grade fever gave you big glassy eyes and red cheeks. The pre-Raphaelite muse Elizabeth Siddal, who famously floated in a bathtub for the painting Ophelia, was a real-life consumptive. Doctors had a term for it, spes pathisica. They believed the fever burned away your physical body to reveal your creative soul. And the original pick-me boy of the era, Lord Byron, knew it. He refused to eat to stay thin and famously said to a friend, "I should like to die of consumption," because then the women would all say, "See that poor Byron, how interesting he looks in dying." To maintain that noble, wasted physique, Byron survived on a diet of hard biscuits and soda water, and he would drench his potatoes in vinegar. If you were healthy, you had to take extreme measures. Victorian women would eat arsenic wafers to destroy their red blood cells so they would look anemic. Or they would paint their faces with Venetian ceruse, a mixture of white lead and vinegar that slowly poisoned them. And those big, doe-eyed Gothic stares? That's belladonna, deadly nightshade. Women dropped this poison into their eyes to paralyze their irises wide open. It made you look mysterious and seductive, right up until the point it made you permanently blind. This dilation can be seen in Gothic literature. In Sheridan Le Fanu's novella Carmilla, which predates Dracula by 25 years, the vampire is described with large, dark, lustrous eyes and a languid energy. While the physical look came from sickness and poison, the wardrobe came from the monarchy. The original Queen of Goth was the literal queen. When Prince Albert died in 1861, Queen Victoria transformed mourning from a temporary ritual into a permanent lifestyle. She wore black for 40 years, popularizing crepe, a crimped silk treated to be matte and light-absorbing. It was known as dead fabric because it didn't shine. This is why modern goth fashion loves velvet and fishnet, materials that absorb light rather than reflect it, mimicking the walking shadow aesthetic of the Victorian widow. She accessorized this with Whitby jet, a dark gemstone that gave us the term jet black. It is a fossilized wood mined in the town of Whitby, which happens to be the same coastal town where Bram Stoker later vacationed and found the name Dracula in a library book. Thus, the jewelry of the Victorian widow and the lore of the vampire were born in the same place. The aesthetic eventually moved from the parlor to the screen. In 1915, silent film star Theda Bara codified the Vamp look. Her studio fabricated a backstory that she was born under the Sphinx and that her name was an anagram for Arab death, though she was actually Theodosia from Cincinnati. Her heavy black eyeliner was a technical necessity. Early film stock couldn't register pale eyes, so she had to paint shadows onto her face to remain visible. Around the same time, the French actress Musidora appeared in Les Vampires wearing a black silk catsuit. In 1915, she established the sleek, predatory silhouette that would eventually evolve into the latex and leather fashions of the modern era. The goth appearance is not a recent invention of the post-punk music scene. It is a direct continuation of 19th century culture and rooted in disease. And if anything, this grim reality makes the style even more authentic. Goth girls are fundamentally a memento mori made flesh, a visual performance that aestheticizes the boundary between the living and the dead.